Good afternoon. Today I'd like to talk to you about the importance of breastfeeding. Infants should be breastfed because breastfeeding positively affects all of society by positively affecting both mom and baby physically, emotionally, and psychologically. How do these effects occur? Well, they occur through breast milk composition, milk changes, and even the baby's saliva contents. So today we'll be looking at what breastfeeding is, what breast milk is, how it changes, how does this affect both mom and baby, what are the problems of breastfeeding and counterclaims, what are the solutions to the problems, how does breast milk compare to other alternatives, and the conclusions of breastfeeding infants. So breastfeeding is an activity where mom places baby next to her and baby suckles from mom to gain nutritionally satisfactory milk. Breast milk is naturally made. It's nutritionally sufficient for babies 0 to 6 months, aiding them in physical growth, brain development, and even immunity. But it can have beneficial effects through toddlerhood as well. All of this information I've gathered here is from Credo Reference and La Leche League International in Breastfeeding Information A through Z. First, the breast milk starts off as colostrum. It then begins to make a transition into transitional milk and finally graduate into mature milk by day 14. All of these different changes in breast milk are just for baby-specific needs when they grow. So not only does the milk change in volume based on the baby's growth rate, but also change in contents based on the baby's gender, which the mom can detect in utero through either surges of testosterone in boys or estrogen in girls. Breast milk will be continued to be produced as long as baby breastfeeds. So it starts to be produced before baby is even born and will continue to be produced as long as mom chooses to breastfeed baby every day or even every other day. When mom breastfeeds baby, oxytocin is released, and this can help instill a good relationship and bonding between mom and baby, but can also reduce the risk of mom developing postpartum depression after she delivers baby. Breast milk contains other hormones as well, such as melatonin, which is released from mom when nighttime occurs, and serotonin and dopamine, which can help the baby to have a positive outlook and mood. Babies will also continue to consume mom's calories when they eat breast milk. So not only do they gain the calories that they need for a healthy growth rate, but can also help mom to lose the extra baby weight that she gained during pregnancy. Breastfeeding allows for communication between mom and baby. When baby breastfeeds, sometimes the saliva, which can contain pathogens, the baby is ill, and that will be delivered into mom's breast tissue. Mom's bodily response to this is to make antibodies specifically for that pathogen. This can not only help to defend against different diseases like the measles or a common cold, but may also even attack cancerous cells like leukemia later on in life. Breast milk has also been found to reduce the risk of children developing asthma and even ear and respiratory infections through infancy and even later on in life. Mom can contribute to healthy intestinal flora by delivering good bacteria that act as probiotics. This can not only reduce colic and IBS, but also obesity in children. Breast milk can affect brain development. This can increase a higher IQ and also reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome by increasing the development of certain parts of the brain, like the medulla oblongata, which is responsible for keeping us breathing and our hearts beating while we're asleep or unconscious. Breastfeeding can reduce the risk of breast cancer and osteoporosis in mom. This is because initially, calcium from mom's bones can be extracted so that baby receives enough while they're growing. But after breastfeeding is finished, mom's bones will start to form and become stronger than they were before. Mom also sheds her breast tissue cells while she's breastfeeding, which can reduce the risk of malformation of cells in her breast tissue, therefore reducing cancer. This lower estrogen level also can act as a birth control for her, which allows her body to heal from one baby to the next. This is a natural design so that mom does not get too overworked carrying children too close together. Diet and exercise are very important while mom breastfeeds, so this can encourage healthy living style for her and for her baby, because babies eat whatever moms eat, and this will allow them to adapt to a cultural diet, and also can help them to be less picky eaters in the future because of this expanded diet through breast milk. Which is also why mom should limit drugs and alcohol, because of the transference of her consumption through the breast milk, also allowing for her to develop a healthy lifestyle. So what's wrong with breastfeeding? What are the problems, counterclaims, and solutions for breastfeeding moms and babies? Well, is breastfeeding inappropriate or sexual? Of course not. Breastfeeding has been around since the beginning of time, since humans first existed, as we are mammals, and all mammals breastfeed their babies. In fact, it is as natural as childbirth. Will breastfeeding encourage my baby, or breastfeeding drain my energy? Will it make it so I can't sleep at night? Well, breast milk may go through the baby's digestive system a bit quicker than formula might, but in fact, breast milk contains melatonin, which will help the baby sleep at night, and during the day, other hormones that were released will help the mom to regain her energy for the rest of the day. Breastfeeding will make the baby dependent on mom forever? Of course not. Child and mother dependency is completely dependent on their behavior and parenting style. Breastfeeding can actually encourage a very healthy relationship between infant and mother, and leave the child psychologically satisfied, which can only increase independence. How does breastfeeding make mom feel? Can it make her feel loss of autonomy? Yes, this is an issue, of course, when any mother has a baby, whether she's breastfeeding or bottle feeding, as babies are generally attached to you for many parts of the day, no matter what. But in fact, breastfeeding moms can feel very empowered because she has made that child, and she has made that milk specifically for that child. No other milk is made just for them. Is publicly breastfeeding taboo? Is it wrong? No. And in fact, breastfeeding that is performed in a public bathroom instead of out in the public area has been becoming more and more taboo, thankfully. In fact, breastfeeding can be done whenever and wherever the baby becomes hungry. In all 50 states, breastfeeding is legal. Publicly breastfeeding is legal. Can you breastfeed babies while working? Can you work while breastfeeding? Yes. And in fact, some employers are becoming more baby friendly. They will actually allow baby daycares to be in their office so you can breastfeed throughout the day, or they may allow you to take your work at home so that your baby can be in their own environment while you're still working. Pumping is actually very beneficial in this area as well if the baby needs to be with his or her father or with another caregiver. What about the inconveniences of letdown? Even the slightest baby's cry can make milk seep through mom's clothing. Yes, this is a very real issue, but there are nursing bras and nursing pads just for that reason, so it doesn't leak through mom's clothing, protecting her from stains and embarrassment. What about painful suckling? This can be difficult to bear for sure. A lot of times it is just because of the position of the baby's mouth and latch, which can be helped with a lactation consultant. But there are also other relief systems such as a nipple guard, which can really take the pressure off, relieving that pain. What about other painful breastfeeding conditions like engorgement? This is due to an overfill of the breast tissue because it's not being drained sufficiently. So if baby is not suckling long enough or often enough, there are other methods of breastfeeding excretion, such as hand expression or pumping. What about other breastfeeding conditions like mastitis? Well, this is due to a clogged milk duct that has become infected. Reducing infection is very important while breastfeeding. The best way to do that is to not leave any open sores. And you can accomplish this by making sure that the breast tissue is very smooth, soft, and flexible by applying balms and making sure that they are very clean throughout the day. What about a milk supply shortage from mom if she's not producing enough milk? And how do we know if we're giving baby enough milk if we cannot measure it like we could in a bottle? Well, this is not a very common issue, but it does happen. Some moms are not able to produce enough milk or not at all. If this happens, she can take supplements or change her dietary intake so that her milk supply can be increased. Okay, what about serious breastfeeding complications for the mother, such as cancer, AIDS, or some kind of other blood or transferable disease like hepatitis? Well, in the case of cancer, medications, chemotherapy, and radiation, or even AIDS, these different medications or diseases can be transferred through breast milk to baby. So a safe alternative would be to get breast milk from a donor while mom is refraining from breastfeeding. And what about breastfeeding complications for the infant? Serious complications such as galactosemia or PKU. Galactosemia is an inefficiency to metabolize a simple sugar found in breast milk. And PKU is an inefficiency to metabolize a certain amino acid found in breast milk. In either of these conditions, unfortunately, breastfeeding is not an option, but we can feed babies lactose-free milk if they have galactosemia that has been extracted from cow's milk, or for for either condition, there are formulas out there which are safe for baby to consume, among other milk alternatives like rice or almond milk. Let's take a look at breast milk versus other feeding alternatives. Breast milk is the ultimate superfood as it contains many components that formula is just not able to mimic. And it is the ultimate breast milk delivery system as it's air-free and can detect babies' immune state at all times. Immune state as well as dehydration state. Animal milk is species. And how about milk compared to other alternatives such as goats or cow's milk? Well, again, all mammals make milk for their babies. And animal milk is species specific. So goat's milk is only made for goats, and cow's milk is only made for cows. They are close to humans' milk, but they are not replacements for humans' milk. So in summary, babies should be breastfed because breastfeeding positively affects baby physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And moms should breastfeed their babies because breastfeeding positively affects mom physically, psychologically, and emotionally. While breastfeeding has beneficial effects on both mother and child during infancy, they can continue through toddlerhood as well. So in conclusion, we should care about breastfeeding because breastfeeding moms and babies positively affect all of society by affecting them both, physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And here are the references for where I've gathered this information. Thank you.